Welcome back to our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2015. I'm Eric Summerer here with Mike Selinker.
Hello.
He is the head shark at Lone Shark Games.
I am.
And you are heading off on your own. You've done lots of work for other publishers,
yes.
But now in the next year you are doing things, producing things on your own.
You know, we watched the Super Bowl and we saw how Left Shark went his own direction.
Yes.
Right? He wasn't going to be bound by Katy Perry's dance steps.
Of course not.
No.
You don't play by rules.
No,
Sharks don't play by rules.
No. So we were inspired by Left Shark.
Okay.
We're gonna go follow his lead and bring our sharkiness to the world.
I think that's a business philosophy I can get behind.
I like to hear that.
Okay, so let's just work our way around the table here. First off, the Maze of Games has been available in the past, at least through Kickstarter.
Yeah, so the Maze of Games, our interactive puzzle novel that I did with Pete Venters.
Very pretty.
Yes, it is a lot of fun. We did a Kickstarter for it, and then it went really well, and we made it available through the Penny Arcade website, which is we're in the Penny Arcade building, so
that makes it easy.
So we can literally walk 5 feet to our books and get them. But here we're announcing that we're making it available to bookstores and game stores after this point, and because we've been deluged with requests for that, and so hopefully that will turn out to be that people can now just go down the street and get it rather than having to just pick it up online all the time.
Excellent. And for those that don't know, this is a story that is told through puzzles.
Yes, it's an interactive thing where the pages are in the wrong order, and you have to reconstruct the narrative and try to make it make sense by solving the puzzles and leading the characters out of the novel yourself. It's cool.
Very, very cool. All right, how about we've got some card games?
Yes, yeah, we do. So. Well, the big news here, I think, the thing that people have been most excited about is the release of the next adventure card game in the line of there's Pathfinder adventure card game.
Yes.
Now we're going to do one of our own. It's actually, in some sense, the first adventure card game.
Okay.
Because when we started design on the concept of what an adventure card game would mean, we didn't have Pathfinder. We didn't have Paizo on board.
Okay.
Right? We had to make something that felt like a story. We couldn't just play with, blank cards that says this is a monster number 72. Mm-hmm. It had to be about something. So we created this universe with my friend Ryan Sand and such it's right on the precipice of an apocalypse. It's modern era, but it's still very hopeful, and we might be able to stop it, that kind of thing. And then what happens is that there's all sorts of monsters that start cropping up, but nobody believes they exist, and nobody believes the people who fight the monsters exist. So it's the Apocrypha adventure card game. It's the tales in the shadows that are almost certainly not true. I mean, they couldn't be real, right? There's no way. So we're going to do that ourselves. It's got some really cool features in it that we couldn't really do with Pathfinder. Like, for example, I would get asked all the time. This is a true statement. I get asked this all the time. God, this Pathfinder adventure card game is great. Why don't you make a role-playing game out of it? What a great idea.
That's a terrific idea. Someone should run with that.
Exactly. I'm going to say, well, as it turns out,
let me show you.
There's a little game over here called Pathfinder, which I think is really good. Anyway, so this game, though, is a card game and a role-playing game in the same box. So you can play the card game without a game master. It just runs like, in some sense, a little bit like the Pathfinder adventure card game, where there's a timer deck and things are randomly showing up and you have to deal with those things, or somebody can take agency and they will say, I'm going to run this scenario, and now the things are not quite as random, and now characters can work together on dealing with problems and go places that aren't on the board and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But they'll use a very similar system of character growth, which I think is very unique to this game. I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere, where characters gain power and vulnerability as they gain repressed memories. in the course.
So you complete an adventure and you suddenly learn something about yourself.
Yeah.
Now you have a power,
right?
But you also have some sort of danger.
Exactly. So what we have are characters start out very stable and not necessarily being able to do everything, but they're not going to really cause problems for other people. And over the course of the game, you get more powerful, but also much more dangerous to yourself and others. And so a character who's played for a very long time might want to play with a character that hasn't been around very long.
Yeah.
Just for the stability. Just for the stability, right? So there's some really cool stuff going on in it, and so we're going to launch it ourselves. It's a very personal project, just like the Maze of Games, and we're going to see if people like it.
How soon? How soon will we see Apocrypha?
It's really
in an ideal world.
In an ideal world, we'll probably have something to show off either through a crowdfunding campaign or a pre-order or something like that in the mid-spring.
Okay.
We've got a goal of trying to at least get something together for the public by October for Halloween.
Okay.
But all of that is extremely spongy at this point.
Okay.
You know, the good thing is we still have a great deal of Pathfinder to write.
Yes.
Right? I mean, and so it's not like we can spend all of our time on this, and that alleviates the pressure of having to have it right this second. You know, so
okay.
it's gonna evolve and grow, but it's really getting there. It's pretty cool, and I think people are gonna really like it.
So some smaller games
yes.
that are coming out more quickly.
Yes. So we've noticed that as a game company, we spend a lot of time just playing games that are just sort of riffed off our own brains, right? Just like we're in the car and we're playing a thing that no one else is playing in the world, but it's just a game that we're playing in the car, right? Or around a table. And eventually I said, why are we making those games? Like, why wouldn't we let those out?
Okay.
So a couple of games that we have coming out, we have a game called Epic versus Awesome.
Yeah.
Epic vs. Awesome is a game about taking two concepts, one sort of categorical, another wordplay based, putting together and finding the most awesome thing that can be made from that category.
Okay.
So like I might take the sort of judge player will come up with a concept out of getting a set of cards that they can work from, put it out there. So somebody might say something from space that starts with V, and so we're now like, okay, well, somebody says Venus, one team says Venus, and the other team talks amongst themselves. We can beat that. Should we choose Voyager? Should we choose, all the
right.
battle takes place, and then cases are made. Oh, come on, it's just Venus. Voyager can go to all the planets.
Right. Yeah.
Venus can't go anywhere. It's stuck. It's not moving. And all that kind of stuff. Right. So and then cards are given out, and it's a very short game, and it's fun. And the art by my friend John Kovalik is amazing. It's a totally new style for him.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fantastic. This is going to be a thing that people are going to want posters of and travel mugs and things like that, just because of the way it looks. He and I are also doing another game together, another couple games together. One's called Sausage Party. Sausage Party has no double entendres in it whatsoever.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Very serious. It's about grilling sausage. It cannot be about anything else.
Of course.
Right? You're just trying to get sausages of the right length into the buns, things like that.
I'm sure that's exactly what they do. Okay, yes.
And things like that. Just games that we've been playing, and we're like, we got to make these at some point. So, like I said, it's really sort of antithetical to the very serious tone of some of my other games, right? But
it gives you an outlet to play some of this other stuff.
We need to let loose every now and then.
There you go.
So the last thing we have, it's really very new addition to our catalog. By the way, our playtest edition of our catalog. Yeah. It's our first ever Loan Shark catalog.
Okay.
And we brought it out, and we're gonna test this out on the GAMA Trade Show and see what happens.
Sure.
Come back with feedback. Is a project that we're doing with a company that has been really inspiring to me. A really close friend, and Monty Cook. He and I have had a ton of respect for each other over the years, and he's got a company that's pretty close to what we do. I mean, we're fairly popular on the internet. We're very small. We don't have, you know, we're not a giant heavy hitter. We just make the things that we like to make. And so my friends Paul and Bo came up with a game that is set in the Numenera universe that Monty has created. And it's a card game and it doesn't have a name and it doesn't have a release date, but it's really great. And the Numenera fans, I think, are really going to love it. But it really is just it's not a deck building game. It's more of a hand building game. Where you advance as a character over the course of the game, and your skills go up, and you deal with different kinds of problems that you encounter in the Numenera universe. I think it's really fun, and I was like, guys, we got to do this. We got to do this with the Monty Cook games, guys, because they're just such cool people. And we announced it. We announced all this yesterday, and the Numenera boards went crazy.
Oh, good.
Right. So So yeah, I mean, there's just all sorts of new stuff. You know, none of it's like ready to go yet, but it's
soon.
It's gonna be soon. It impends.
Well, Mike, I hope this shark sails far. I hope everything goes well for you, and I'm really looking forward to some of these games.
Excellent. Well, you've been such a vocal supporter of our stuff, and I really appreciate the good words the Dice Tower has thrown our way over the last few years. I mean, it's been a really positive force for us and just for the game community in general. And so, you know, the fact that you guys are paying attention to our new directions and sharing them with the world is real positive for us.
You make good stuff. We're going to pay attention.
I very much appreciate that, sir.
Mike Selinker, thank you. Thanks for watching.